Welcome back into our final segment of the day. We're just having a little bit of fun here on a Friday afternoon. We are going to be running through the top 10 current athletes in Boston. So that is with the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, and the Red Sox. And at this point, for decades, it has been dominated by the Patriots through their part one and part two of the dynasty, but I put this list together and I actually did not have a single Patriot, and I do think that this list does sort of reflect on where the city is at currently. And it's both when I put this list together, it was based off of their talent level and their popularity in Boston already. So without further ado here, number 10, I have Jeremy Swayman. I initially thought I was going to have him higher on this list, but truthfully, as much as he does look like he is going to be the franchise goalie for the Bruins, he still hasn't necessarily proven anything yet, and I have very high expectations for him. I think that he can be much higher on this list a year from now, but at the same time, you are competing with a team that did just win the NBA Finals, so makes it a little bit tougher to overcome sort of some of the high that these other guys are riding off of. Number 9, I have Jarren Duran, though. This is somebody that if we did this maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe I wouldn't have had him on this list, but Duran has been extremely popular in Boston. I mean, he's having a career season, and you see the edits, at least I do because I'm on, Boston based For You pages, but the edits of just how bad Jarren Duran was when he first came up in the league, and he has talked about the fact that he struggled with mental health stuff, and he kind of lashed out at times as well to the media, to fans, but the way that he is just turned around his entire image, the FM shirts, and for those of you who don't know, he started wearing this shirt that said F 'em, something with a little bit more than just F, and he is using it all the sales are going to beneficiaries of mental health struggles. So it's this very cool movement that he has been sort of guiding here, and on top of that, he has just been playing out of his mind baseball, has really emerged onto the scene. You can see for our video viewers here, won the All-Star Game MVP with his home run, and he is really becoming a star, somewhere on that borderline of top 10 player in baseball right now. And at 28 years old, I think that he's going to continue to do so. As we have a comment from him, Patriots could have had somebody on this list, but they did trade Mac Jones. But it's crazy because Mac Jones, if we were to have done this exercise coming off of Mac Jones's rookie year, I probably would have had him somewhere close to the top 5, and just a disastrous fall apart there. I did consider, on the Patriots note here before we get too much further, I did consider Matthew Judon, but with the injury last year, we don't even know if he's going to play for the Patriots this year. I expect that he is, but there is some sort of, contract dispute going on there that I ended up going no Patriots, and it doesn't help for the Patriots that a lot of these other guys are playing a lot more impactful games at this point, as him's talking about Mac Jones should have been one, which maybe the GOAT indeed. Still have that sneaky Mac Jones. I don't have Mac Jones stock anymore. I just, the Patriots burned all of that. But Mac Jones could have been good. I'll stand by that take. But number 8 here, we have Charlie McAvoy. Probably dipped down a little bit over the course of the past season, where McAvoy seemed like, and he still is one of the top defensemen in the NHL, and just signed his contract, so he's going to be here for a long time, but didn't have his best season, and it feels like to some degree with the Bruins, the playoff risers for them haven't necessarily been their top tier guys, other than, I would say, Jeremy Swayman, who was really impressive for them this past year. And, that's why I think Swayman could definitely overtake McAvoy, but with a little bit of the longevity that McAvoy has had up to this point, I had to give him the slight edge there. And again, he's one of the best defensemen in the NHL, so you got to give him credit for that. Now we start to get into a little bit of the Celtics part of this list, because coming off of a championship, I think one of the most talented teams in recent NBA history, you're going to have a lot of incredible athletes. Put Kristaps Porzingis at 7 here. And if we're talking just popularity, he's probably even higher up. I mean, the way that he was basically doing WWE entrances into TD Garden when he was coming out for those playoff games was just truly electric, and he's definitely won over the fans. But I think from an impact perspective, the fact that they won without him in the finals, and he played a big part in Game 1 especially, and if Game 1 goes differently, then maybe the entire series goes differently. But we will, as I'm just reading the comments here from him, Peyton Pritchard actually did not make the list here, unfortunately. A very solid honorable mention candidate, but I guess I'm sorry for that one. But yeah, Porzingis a little bit lower on this list because of the fact that he just wasn't available quite as much, and I do have some questions about what his long-term future in Boston is. He signed the contract extension when he opted in last year, but we will see. Number 6, I have Drew Holiday, just slightly above Kristaps Porzingis. Probably, doesn't necessarily have the shine quite as much as a 7-footer who erupted for this ridiculous offensive showing in Game 1. But Drew Holiday made all of the winning plays. He made the entirety of the chemistry in that Celtics locker room in a lot more mature. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have talked about the fact that Drew Holiday brings that level of competition, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and that's what sort of separates this year's Celtics team from years in the past. Outside of some of the personnel changes alone, the intensity on the defensive side of the floor, and I absolutely credit Drew Holiday's presence to that. Another guy where we'll see how long he's in Boston. It might be a short stay here ultimately, but it's something that you just have to, appreciate. And if you're really watching basketball, Drew Holiday is one of the all-time. He's better than just a glue guy, but I mean, just an incredible talent in person to have on your team. Number 5, we have Derek White, one of my personal favorites, probably my favorite athlete in Boston right now. Derek White is kind of Mr. Celtics, Mr. Boston right now. He's in all these Sam Adams commercials now. And it's just the fact that, he blossomed really right in front of the Celtics fans because of the fact that he came in as sort of role player expectations, and all of a sudden he has become a pivotal piece that I think there's a very good chance that he spends, I think out of all of the, outside of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, out of all the Celtics right now, I think Derek White's the most likely to get another contract. He just signed a contract extension this offseason, and I expect him to be around for a very long time. Just does all of the little things perfectly, and I love me some Derek White. Number 4, David Pastrnak, one of the best NHL players in the game, and Pasta is paid accordingly to it and is going to be a Bruin for a very long time. But also, Pastrnak is just at a point where he has played worse in the playoffs for the majority of his career in Boston. He's been on a number of very talented teams and hasn't been able to sort of give the team what they need. And if we were just to see Pastrnak go crazy for a series, I think it would be a massive difference maker for them. But we're kind of sitting around on that. But I mean, again, for our video viewers, you you see the picture that's on the screen. He's got all the aura that you could possibly ask for. It's just, and he's got all the skills. The film is amazing, but again, kind of waiting on that playoff moment to occur. And that's kind of why I opted for going with Rafael Devers over David Pastrnak, because of the fact that he was on that 2018 team. And I mean, Devers just does not get the credit that he deserves, I think, for the most part. Because Devers, even when he has a down year, he's still one of the best hitters in baseball. I feel like overall, you look at his improvements on defense this year. Now, just last year it was really bad, so he's not the perfect player, but he's definitely, at the top in terms of Boston hierarchy at this point, especially as the Red Sox, if their front office really would be more invested into this team, I think that Devers, has a chance to be one of the all-time beloved guys in Boston. But I guess we're kind of going to put number 2 and number 1 together, because I would hate to break them up here, but it is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Now, starting with Brown here, listen, this became the season where it was a real debate as who's the better player between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Brown ends up winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He wins the MVP as a whole, the Finals MVP as well. And that's terrific, and he is an excellent player. I'm so glad for him that he was able to finally get the recognition that he deserved. I'm sorry, I'm breaking this guy's heart in the comments section by the absence of Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser, but I think that would maybe play a little bit too much into a Boston stereotype that, as a group, we're trying to kick a little bit. So Jaylen Brown, he's become, a top 15 guy. I feel like you can say pretty safely top 15, top 20. He is, one of the best in the league, and I feel like it's no insult to him that Jason Tatum is a better basketball player, because Tatum is probably top 5, maybe just outside the top 5, but Jaylen Brown being able to finally have the credit that he's been deserving year after year. He just continues to get better, and getting to a point where, I mean, we know one-man shows just can't run the NBA anymore. You need a second guy, and Jaylen Brown could absolutely be the number 1 option on a championship team in my eyes. Well, I wouldn't say absolutely. He can be a number 1 team on a playoff team, absolutely. But, I mean, Jason Tatum's the number 1 option. He is the main source of just about everything for you. Led the team in points, rebounds, and assists throughout the playoffs. I understand this was not an efficient postseason for him, but 3 straight All-NBA first-team appearances. It's no secret that Jason Tatum just reads the game on a different level, and even when he takes a step back a little bit from the statistics, it gets held against him. But all the guys talked about this year was sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. And Jason Tatum did so, and he was rewarded by being an NBA champion. And, I feel like the chances are he's probably going to get at least a couple other opportunities to be a Finals MVP. So we'll see about that. But other than our friend here in the comments section, him, who is very devastated by the absence of Mac Jones and the others, but I think that overall, this is where we stand here. Again, at least putting together all the factors of talent and sort of where they stand within the city, but let me know what you would change in the comments section. That is all the time we have for today, though. Thank you very much for tuning into the GSMC Sports Podcast. Thank you to the GSMC Sports Network for allowing us to host this show. Remember to like, follow, subscribe wherever you keep up with us. Check us out on social media as well for more exclusive short content. But that is all we have. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is TJ Mabardi. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday. Take care.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to